Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Gem Talk. This is the third session with fourth session. In fact, with our boss Sharil. He actually wanted to talk a lot of things from his experience, including the most interested attracts me is the how to be debt free before 40. All right. So that's actually
Mm.
one of my goals. So he will be doing the talking, and of course lah, all of us will be doing the writing lah. Huh? So yep, thank you very much, Boss Sharia. Take your very precious time. Even play your drum, or even you debt free now. I know you have a lot of time and busy also with other thing, but thank you. Took this interest lah to
Yeah.
join us and have people share with all of us here. Thank you very much, Shari.
Most welcome. My pleasure, actually, James. I'm surprised that I'm invited. Because to be frank, on LinkedIn, if you notice, I'm not a typical character lah. I'm not one of those motivation speakers. I'm not one of those influencer until now. So I don't know what's this, definition of influencer. Um, but yeah, I'm happy to be here to share. And that is my principle, actually. I share.
Mm.
I'm not good at teaching. I
Mm.
share what my experience is, what works for me.
Mm.
Um, and if it works for you as well, all the best, good. But it may not as well. Okay,
Mm.
so that's one thing that everyone need to bear in mind lah. I'm not a certified motivation speaker.
Mm.
I'm not, I don't have all the certifications and so on. But um, I do really believe in life experience can
Mm.
teach us a lot.
Mm.
Okay,
Yes.
right? Mm.
All right. So, is what is the things that you have done that actually very curious? The debt free. Did you start from when you started working your first paycheck, or maybe something along the way that affect your life that you have your mind like, oh, okay, I wanted to be debt free. What are the things? Maybe you can share
Okay.
from there.
Um, to be frank, there was never so-called a particular incident or experience
Mm-hmm.
that triggered me to be who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who I am today, as of 20th February 2021,
Mm-hmm.
is a combination of all the experience that I faced throughout my life. Okay. But of course, at different level or different age, the way I react to those experiences is different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and as of today, kan, the way I see experience, may it be good, may it be bad, may it be sad, may it be happy,
Mm-hmm.
all that actually build who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not just to look at the happy stuff, even the sad part, the heartbroken part, the stresses and everything. All that
Mm-hmm.
is what I am today lah. That builds I am
Mm-hmm.
today. So if to answer your question whether is there's a particular experience, no.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but of course, I think it goes with everyone. As you age, maturity kicks in and so on. Um, and it's how you look at things, perspective. Okay. Okay, this perspective is one thing I actually developed about 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
where I realized that um, you there's most of the things in life you cannot control. To be frank,
Mm-hmm.
when things happen, even though let's say in work lah, as an engineer, for example, you plan, do a lot of planning before a job, with the confidence that 100% it will work,
Mm-hmm.
and you say yes, I'm in control, but suddenly it still doesn't work.
Ah,
Okay,
correct.
so result, to be frank lah, result is not in your control.
Mm.
You can say, I mean, there's a big a bigger power that actually determines it. But what you can control, to be frank, the really one thing that I believe I can control is actually my action and my perspective, the way I look at things.
Mhm,
Okay, and that's the only thing different between one another.
Mhm.
Okay.
So for the okay, like your own perspective kan, how do you plan like I mean okay, is it, do you have any side income for job, or do you spend very minimum of your salary, stay in a very outskirt area away from the city, or how do you minimize your living expenses, or what is the cut or adjustment that you
okay.
became debt free before
All
40?
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Specific to being debt free. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Again, reminder. This work for me.
Okay.
It may not work for everybody else because
Okay.
it does depend a lot on yourself.
Mm.
Okay. I open up with this thing lah. I have been in a situation where my bank account is zero. Why is it zero? That one I will share later. But yes, I have been in situation where my bank account is zero. Um, I've been in situation I had to borrow money
Mhm.
because my bank zero lah. What to do? What else to do? Okay. Why I got to zero? I will share the story as well. But besides um, a formal education or knowledge about financial management, which you can get a lot from the internet nowadays, easy lah, what to do and so on. I don't really have that kind of dependency on that.
Mhm.
The only thing that I keep telling, even to the younger generation lah, the interns, even my kids and so on, and luckily my wife share the same idea. Okay,
Mhm.
financial management is as basic as don't spend more than what you earn. That's a
Mhm.
very basic.
Yes.
Okay, period. The others are again. So, and before you talk about wealth management, before you talk about thinking about investment and so on, grow your money, triple and so on, if you can't save every month, okay, discipline enough every month. No, I'm not even talking about the value. I'm
Mhm.
not talking about you need to save 50% of your salary. No, 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 no. What I practiced was save. Okay. So the first one just now was I never spend more than what I earn.
Okay.
Even I long and I want that iPhone 12.
Mhm.
I never spend. If I don't have money in my bank account, I don't spend. As easy
Mhm.
as that.
Mhm.
Okay. Second, as I said as now, first, don't spend more than you earn. Second is save first, then spend.
Okay.
Don't save after whatever remaining after you spend. That's what my practice is lah. So, and how much you need to save? That one, yeah lah. I mean, there's rule of thumb, 30% lah, 40%, and so on. People will tell you, but everyone's life is different. Okay, okay, everyone's life is different. Um, as much as you want to save first pun,
Mhm.
but you may be in a situation that you have to help others,
Mhm.
and this is where I share a little bit lah.
Mhm.
As soon as I get graduated, uh, in a nutshell, my salary goes to my family lah.
Mhm.
I'm not married yet. My parents and my younger brother, sister, and so on.
Mhm.
Um, so I could not save initially. Initially, I could not save. But as I said, you need to save. I needed to save, but at the same time, if my circumstances does not allow me to do that, so be it. Okay, as I said, not everyone is in the same situation. Everyone will have their own experiences and challenges to face. But nevertheless, as soon as I can start saving, that's what I did first. So I
Mhm.
took away a portion of my salary, save.
Mhm.
Whatever the balance is, that's where I start to spend. Okay. But
Mhm.
before spending, now is the third one. What was the first one? Was just now never spend more than you earn.
Mhm.
Second, save first before you spend.
Mhm.
Third, actually, before you spend, you give.
Mhm.
You give to charity. For Muslim, sedekah, all that, zakat, and all that. Yeah. Give to your parents first. And now when talking about giving, now there's my practice. There's some hierarchy in it lah. First my parents, siblings, relatives, then society. Okay. So third is actually give. It sounds it's not easy, yeah. It's not easy to part
Okay.
with your money, your wealth. But again, if you notice, I never talk about amount. I never talk about percentage. I never talk about, you need to divide. How much? No, I just talk about how to divide. Okay, it's up to you. As I said, it's your life, your money, how much you want to give. And as everyone know and believe, I'm quite sure charity doesn't have a dollar sign. You want to give 10 cents, you want to give 100, you want to give 10 ringgit, 1 ringgit. That's the beauty about charity versus hutang. Hutang, if you owe the bank 100 ringgit, mana boleh pergi akan discount lah this month 10 ringgit.
Correct,
No,
correct.
okay. So that's the third one, give. Okay. After you have given, then you start to spend. Whatever your balance is, you spend. Okay. So as basic as that, James and friends. Okay, that's my practice. I have no formula. Okay.
What about do you choose where you stay also? I mean okay, like say you work in example like KL because salary higher, then you stay a bit far like Cyberjaya or maybe a bit very outskirt a bit.
All right.
For lower living expenses, is it helps
Okay.
like that or how?
Living expenses, of course, most of the time, to be frank, I think people have no choice because it depends on where you work.
Okay.
Okay. In my situation, after I came back from UK, I was blessed that I studied in the UK and I worked there first. I got a job in UK in the nuclear industry. But as soon as I came back, I got a job with a company that based in KL. But I was posted to first Labuan. So I stayed in Labuan first. So again, I had no choice. But being single, of course, you share with people, share the rent and everything. So I was in Labuan before I was transferred then to Kemaman. Kemaman, if people don't know, things can be more expensive than KL.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so you still have to be careful with how you spend there. But again, I chose when I was single, stayed with single friends and so on lah. So I was like that until I got married lah. So I think to the question whether to choose where you live and so on, it all depends on where you work. Okay, if you have no choice, you have to stay near to where you work lah. That's it lah kan. But if I was given a choice, of course I would choose somewhere that is within my, as I said myself just now, after I save, and how much I'm left, nak tak nak, I have to spend within whatever I have lah, without touching the savings. Okay, as I said, save first. So yeah, it's not as straightforward as I can easily choose where I want to live. Okay. At one time, I purchased a house in Rawang, Bandar Tasik Putri. Got it for a good deal. But then one fine Sunday morning, no traffic. I tested to drive from my house to my office in KL, 1 hour and 15 minutes without traffic.
Okay.
Oh, I got a good deal, cheap house, but I have to spend without traffic to and fro 2.5 hours without traffic. Does it make sense or not?
Okay.
With the toll, with the petrol, and then plus jam, that 2.5 hours easily can be 4 hours. So it didn't work. Soon enough, I sell off lah the house and so on. So to cut it short, it's not straightforward. Of course, the principle is always you need to find a place within whatever balance lah you have. So that's what I practice lah.
Mhm.
Okay, which to be frank, a lot of times I see people fail at this uh, second stage. Just now I said already, people fail already because people
Temptation.
usually spend and whatever balance save.
Because
It's usually
temptation
zero balance.
now the advertisement very kuat, you know. See wow, can like got some magic can really attract you. No buy, I feel guilty, you know. Macam bersalah tau, tak beli.
Correct, correct. And then as I said, I never talk about the numbers and so on. My first car, I only purchased, I think, after maybe 4 years of working, 3 or 4 years lah.
Before that,
My first car,
motorbike? No. What's the mean of transport?
motorbike, public
Public.
transport.
Oh,
That kind of
okay.
stuff. Alright. First car, and my first car was Kenari. Okay, my first car was Kenari. But in my circle of friends and colleagues, I was a laughing stock lah.
Okay. And why do you choose Kenari, tak choose Kelisa or something range like, but why particularly Kelisa? Any reason?
Kenari.
Kenari, any reason?
Because that 4 years, 3 or 4 years, I save enough to buy cash lah. To buy the car cash. As I said, because just now I already start saving.
Okay.
Start saving, so I bought cash. And of course, I was never not really a brand conscious lah. At that time, I never been a brand conscious. So I bought Kenari. I was laughing stock. Most of my friends minimum modified Proton Wira lah. Modified Proton Wira. Some, at the age of 25, 26, already Mercedes, BMW, all that lah. Okay. So yeah, I bought Kenari. So I know that's within my need. And of course lah, fuel efficiency. I don't spend on full tank at that time. I think about 42 ringgit or something like that lah. All right. And I had that Kenari for a good 12 years.
12 years, Oh, okay.
12 years. 12 years for Kenari. So again, so I go back to spending within my limit. How much I earn. I don't spend more than that lah. Just that 4 steps. If you notice, I never talk about percentage, how much I need to save and all that, because everyone is different lah.
Yes.
Now one tip about saving. Okay, one tip about saving. Okay, to be frank, I also not that disciplined saving. Okay, and it's not easy. It's not easy to put money. My wife is more disciplined. In personally and physically, this amount every month put in this account.
So one of the key point is to have a good partner also. Right?
Oh yeah.
So this one, if no, satu save, satu pakai, okay, habis also.
And I've seen situation where even though it's apa orang panggil ni, light chat and so on, but I've seen that partners not in agreement, meaning husband earning 100, partner want to spend 200.
So okay. So Awin, dengar Awin, ni bujang ni orang bujang dengar ni.
Memang penting. Ini to be day one, not day one of marriage. Day one of tackling.
Tackling, dengar.
Not day one of marriage, day one of marriage too late already.
Take note, take
day
note.
Day one of tackling.
Bonus tips.
Okay. All right. It sounds cruel, but this is life, and life is not getting easier. Life is not getting easier. Okay, my tip on saving. Okay, so at one point tu memang it's not easy. Kawan pakai apa iPhone at that time, I still Nokia 3310. Macam mana ni? Tak glamour. Macam mana mau tackle awet pun tak boleh ni kan? Okay. This is a situation where I call a forced saving. Okay. I signed up with at that time no takaful. I signed up with Prudential.
Okay.
Okay, I signed up with Prudential Insurance. Like it or not, every month they will take my money.
Okay.
500 ringgit,
Like
600 ringgit.
auto debit lah, something like
Auto
that.
debit. Ayo, I said,
Hilang.
susah lah macam ni, tak boleh kan. But 10 years later, there's a lot of money lah in there. And I also, to be frank, sign up also because tolong kawan lah. Kawan semua hidup, tolong kawan semua hidup. Okay, I help you lah.
Win-win lah.
Win-win. I don't know what I signed up for also lah. But yes, I got sick at one time, and my agent, which is my friend, my agent, came to me and, don't worry, you're covered. Everything okay? And then one day, I think, 10 years, he called me up, Sharil, hey, you have this amount, you want to cash out? What amount? I thought I was paying for my insurance. Not every single money that I put in goes to insurance. Some goes to saving. So this is what I call forced saving. If you don't have the willpower to actually save yourself, take 100 ringgit, put in the account every month, and not taking out by the next month, forced saving. As small as nowadays, I think insurance can be as cheap as, I think, about 150 ringgit a month or something like that lah.
Awin, no excuse Awin. Ada alasan
That's one option. You know, of course, don't be like me. Find out lah the details properly and so on. But that money can be a lot of help one day. Okay, and how much? As I said, it all depends on how much you are earning and so on. Okay, but as also about the amount lah kan. Somebody can earn 20,000-30,000 ringgit a month and still be in debt.
Yeah.
Somebody can only earn 2,000-3,000 ringgit but debt free. And it all boils down to that four things actually. Again, I'm not talking about wealth management. I'm not talking about expanding wealth. Not yet. Don't talk about wealth management when you can't even save your money first. Okay. My father-in-law, he's very well versed in investment lah, stocks and so on. Once in a while I go lah, Pak, I have this some money lah, I want to invest and then he will start, how much do you have in your bank account?
Wah, ni stress ni.
No, but I'm open lah. Okay, say, you know, kan? Don't talk about investment yet lah. You know, savings first. And a lot of people fail there. Everybody immediately want to jump wealth. And you will hear people, you want your 10 ringgit to become 100 ringgit within 3 months. Please be careful on that. Please be careful on that. Please be careful on that. Okay. All right. I have a lot of my colleagues, my juniors, my crews, staff under me got into a lot of trouble because of that. Okay. Put it in your mind, there is no fast money. There is no fast money. Okay. There is no fast money. So please, you're suffering for the first 10 years, like me, the first 10 years before I got married, no holiday, nothing like this. I tak pergi holiday. My free time before married, I go back to my parents lah. Spend time with my family, with my adik-adik and so on, right? With my parents. So if I go holiday, so balik kampung lah with my parents, right? Okay. But I'm telling you, that sacrifice, at least for me lah, that first 10 years, I got married at the age of 30. You know, I got married at the age of 30. So I worked about 6-7 years lah. And the first 2-3 years marriage also, me and my wife was still having that same very berjaga-jaga with our money and so on. Even though we already have savings lah, we already work for 10 years, we still berjaga-jaga and so on. And didn't change our lifestyle. We didn't change our lifestyle. We still holiday, domestic, and there's some the free time that we have, we still, at that time I still had my parents. So you know lah how it works. One weekend my parents, one weekend her parents, that kind of stuff lah. It's different now. Both of my parents have passed away, so it's just my parents-in-law lah. But we didn't change. So the first 10 years of that sacrifice is one of the reason why I'm debt free before 40 lah. Okay, and then so you need to have to be strong lah the first 10 years and so on. For that 4 things that I mentioned, don't spend more than you earn, save before you spend, give charity. Okay, and you heard about my practice of what's the hierarchy of your charity, then only you start spending. Okay, itu saja, 4 saja. No, it's not in any textbooks or anything. It's not in any, but that is how I manage my finance. Okay, as I mentioned so just now, as much as possible, besides house, bill electric, bill telephone, bill air, if I don't have enough money, I don't buy cash. Okay, so Kenari for 12 years. Of course, it was cash, so money I save for the next car lah. Okay. But as I say, I don't want to talk about numbers and so on because semua orang gaji lain-lain. If I tell you you need to save 50% and your gaji is 1,000, doesn't make sense lah kan?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Correct.
It's the discipline of saving. Even you save 10 ringgit a month pun save 10 ringgit a month. You can only give charity 1 ringgit pun give charity. It's that practice. It's that for practice. I don't want to. I don't talk about the amount because everybody's life is different lah. You know. But that's my secret to be debt free. Okay, debt free. But debt free, but still have things lah. Okay, house all paid for, cars, yeah, all tak ada hutang lah. So. And one of the biggest, as I said lah, the forced saving. Kalau yang mana tak kuat to save on your own, try to look into forced saving, meaning and a trusted institution that can save money for you. Okay, it will help you in the long run. Once you are dah biasa, you see every month, orang tu ambil duit I lah 400 ringgit, orang tu ambil duit I lah setiap bulan. One day you tak sedar that money is already be taken away. And then one fine day you got sick, your agent comes, don't worry, you are covered. One thing. Second, later on, so after 10 years, ni duit you banyak ni, nak buat apa ni? Oh my God. I'm telling you that day was like, serious lah? I have that amount lah. You know? And then that amount it's up to you lah. You want to further. Then that's where you want to talk about spending your wealth lah. You can reinvest. That's where you have extra cash. You want to reinvest, or it's not wrong also for you to spend. You already saved. That's your money. You know. You want to spend. Especially kalau masa tu you dah ada family. And that's where I started. To be frank lah, my first holiday, real holiday lah, with my wife is when that day came lah. My agent came. 10 years already, you have this amount. What do you want to do? Cash out lah. Dia kata, boleh cash out lah. I didn't know, so I can cash out. So I cash out, and that's when we went for a nicer, proper holiday lah. Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, that's it. You know, if you're talking about being debt free, of course, wealth management will help lah. But wealth management, as I said, just be careful lah. There's so many options. Well, sekarang ni banyak lah. You can invest in gold, you can invest in stocks, unit trust, and all that. Tapi, as I said, not until you have that 4 things discipline is part of you. Part of you, that four things. Then only you talk about wealth lah. Again, as I said, that was my experience, my practice. I started working at the age of 23, and just before 40 lah. To be frank, it was in the same year I was 40, but my birthday was in August, and I got that free few months before that, so before 40 lah.
At least like a branch mark lah for you.
Yes. So 17 years lah to be that free.
All right.
But,
So
yeah lah,
so
okay.
next one, I think people dia orang ni nak dengar why you on LinkedIn with 50,000
okay.
follower and not selling something. Ini I also want to hear also.
Okay.
All right. A bit.
Okay. First of all, I didn't know also there was a function for followers. Until somebody actually
start to talk about
informed me at the mark of 40,000, I think. Was it? Hey, you have 40,000 followers, you know. So I was like, yeah, I still didn't know that. All right, and to be frank, yeah, I don't. Yeah, okay. Then people inform me. I say, oh, that's nice. But to be frank, the first thing that hit me was that's a big responsibility on how I conduct myself on LinkedIn. Okay, but set back again lah. 5 years ago or 6 years ago when I registered for LinkedIn, it's one of those register first lah. I don't know what's inside there also. Register. But a few months after that, I think about 2016. 2016, I start looking at LinkedIn in a different way. As I said, I was not looking for a new job. I was not selling anything. If you guys know, I'm working with Petronas, so there's no product for me to sell. You know, I'm not an owner of petrol station or anything to sell minyak. Okay. Okay, but to be frank, I was on LinkedIn initially was to this is the term lah, maybe influence lah, I would say influence also. An idea. Okay, an idea. I wanted to change the landscape of the operation I was managing in the oil and gas industry. Okay. And change is not easy. To make a change, to change somebody complete, you know, to be frank, to change somebody's mind, to me is impossible. Okay. Everyone has their own belief and so on. And to change something is also more important because to ensure it's sustainable. Different in giving instruction. To be frank, in my position in the industry, where in Petronas, I can actually instruct people. My department, not I lah, my department, the unit I'm in, we can instruct because we are the regulator of the industry in Malaysia. Okay, who was it just now from Vantage? Harith, right? Harith, I think it was from Vantage. I think he knows lah. I can instruct, and we can instruct, and people have to follow. Okay, but that is not sustainable. When a different person comes in my position, they might change, and it's just not sustainable. But if you change things, you have higher chance of sustainability lah. Okay, so LinkedIn was a great platform to actually influence and change the landscape of the industry. Okay, and the first rule actually to change, to create that one thing that change is actually for me to give first. Okay, if you go and expect people to change for you, it won't work. At least in my experience, I have to offer something. I have to change something. Okay, and on LinkedIn is where I acknowledge a lot of my peers, a lot of people outside, even outside of my Petronas, Shell, Exxon, all this. Even the service side like Vantage or other companies like Schlumberger and all that, is to acknowledge them first that they have done a good job. And that's the first main reason why I was on LinkedIn lah. So I wasn't selling product, but I may have been selling an idea, a belief that change is required and people can willingly participate in that. And how I did it was actually through acknowledging a lot of other people, other companies, and so on, how important they are in this whole cycle of changing that landscape. So that was the main reason I was on LinkedIn. So I had a vision to change how we work in the industry towards better, of course, better efficiency and so on. But as I went along, then I started to realize there's a lot more I can do towards different level of society lah. Okay, as I mentioned just now, the main reason was work, and of course, when you talk about work, there's only a certain group of people lah. Okay, that I was targeting. Then I started to see graduates on there. Then I started to see influencers, motivation speakers, and so on. All right. And that's where I actually was invited. At one time, there was this thing called Top Voices Malaysia, TVM, where all the great minds of Malaysia got together and try to help different aspects. Some talking about CV writing, some talking about how to be more employable when you go for interviews and so on. So those kind of things. I see that a lot of people needed help on that. Okay, so I helped out. Okay, so that's the second reason why I was on LinkedIn. Third is when I see a lot of young people not leading a healthy lifestyle. Okay, where health is secondary, still okay lah. Sometimes not even in the list of young people's mind in their long-term planning. Okay, I say this macam lah, I took care of my health since long time ago. Now I share something lah. I was hit with a mild stroke before 30.
Okay, interesting.
And some more didn't learn my lesson. I got mild stroke. Okay,
What's the symptom? Mild stroke means you cannot talk halfway or tak boleh bangun ke macam?
Well, I just got here. I remember 1st May 2007. 1st May 2007. I just got married 2 months, 2.5 months like that. Can you imagine? Just got married. 1st May, I collapsed in front. Well, at that time in front of my late mom, but my wife was upstairs lah. I was talking to my mom. I collapsed, and my wife was already pregnant. So can you imagine the things that goes into my wife's mind, my mom, her parents, and so on. Before 30 already mild stroke. So I collapsed. I can't remember much lah. This is what my wife told me lah. I was brought to the hospital at the time, emergency, so went to the government hospital before I was transferred to a private hospital. Facial, half of my knee was drooping. I had to go on rehab lah, physio and so on for 6 months. Was on 5 medications per day. But as I said, once I got a bit better, I still didn't learn my lesson. So I was on medication for a good 9-10 years. Always depend like that lah. I makan ubat okay lah, until I got it's quite a funny story lah. who actually reminded me of the importance of health was my eldest son. At that time, he's already 10 years old lah.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
uh, it's during my prayers, semayang.
Mm-hmm.
You know lah, Muslim, the last stage was sitting down, right? Semayang.
Mm-hmm.
So he was behind me. And after semayang, my son asked me, Dad, why you cannot sit properly during your prayers? Because I was oversized, a bit on the apa ni,
Obese.
obvious lah, high BMI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking, oh my God, that as simple as that hit me. If my son sees me that way, that must not be something good lah. And that's where I started to change my lifestyle. At that time, I was at 92, 93 kilograms.
Oh. So how
then
tall are you, boss? Sharon?
173.
173. Wow. Okay.
Teruk lah. My ideal BMI is at 70, should be 74, 74.5 or something like
Because
that.
I'm also 173, around there. So yeah, I know. 70, yeah.
About 74, 75 like that lah. Yeah, but today I'm 71.5 lah.
Wah, me cannot lah. Cannot reach that one lah. Very hard lah.
That one is 71.5 lah. But bottom line is I'm off medication, and that's where I started. But for the past few years, then I start to see lah the younger generation, the health is not in the list lah. Even during interviews, graduate, when I ask nobody talk about. Adalah one or two lah talk about fitness and so on, but zero on health. Zero on health. And that's the third reason why I'm on LinkedIn. If you not a few years ago especially lah, my posting was a lot on this hashtag that I use, H in HSC, health in HSC. Cap James, HSC, I'm sure in the Marine also very strong, right?
Yes.
But how frequent you hear people talk about personal health? When you talk about safety meeting lah, everything, risk there, risk here, nobody will talk about health, personal health. Don't talk about the typical H during the operation lah kan. People don't talk about health, and it even strengthened my plan on LinkedIn when I was invited by 2-3 of my interns lah to run a half marathon in UTP, University Technology Petronas, in one of their annual runs lah. Of course lah, got con, rupanya mau minta sponsor lah. I kata okay lah, I sponsor all 3 also to run. And these are 21, 22 years old interns. So I join lah. That's where I saw majority of the students, let alone finish the run, 21 kilometers. Most cannot finish. Some finish, but beyond the cut-off time of a half marathon. Then I realized, okay lah, maybe our young engineers, or young students and so on, health is not part, because they don't see lah, they are fit, but they are still okay. But if you start to abandon your health when you start working, which a lot of people do that. My screen froze.
Oh, okay, no problem. Maybe some technical error for our boss Sharil here. So you can see he's so jimat sampai his internet also I think also very not the most expensive, the high speed lah. So very economic lah. This our boss Sharil here is too much. The thing I like about him is he's a nice guy. Okay. And people on LinkedIn always telling what time to post lah, what to write lah, all these things. And these are the veteran. I tell you, he have 50,000 follower and diam saja, tak ada cakap. tak ada promote, all these things macam mana pakai LinkedIn and all. So, so kadang-kadang we need to kenal lah orang macam ni kan. Kalau tak kenal, I pun muak lah tengok kat LinkedIn orang tanya strategi. Tapi strategi tu orang you tengok dia punya follower tak tak banyak pun. Maybe 10,000 dah start bising lah. Wah, strategi apalah. But people like our boss Syarif here, he is very humble, If you memang tak tekan dia punya profile, you pun never know that he have 50,000 follower. You see his face also, you won't even attract lah. See, his uncle, nothing, right? But I tell you, when you click on his profile, actually you can see many things he has been engaged there, including a lot of things, what he tried to tell all of us with a very simple message, by our boss here. Hey, boss, you still there?
Yes. Okay, I'm back in. Don't know what happened lah.
Never mind.
Don't know what happened.
Easy. So, okay, now since you back before nanti sebab I nampak orang ada masuk keluar kan. So we get the best strength of the audience for, of course lah, group photo lah kan. So
Okay.
have a good group photo and it will be a nice lah for harap ada orang, tak ada paksa tapi harap lah ada orang nanti boleh post kat LinkedIn, tulis review about what the speaker was talking. I think it's a good way. So tag nama dia macam TS Syaril. So write that what you have learned, reflect there. So let people know,
Okay.
expose lah kan. So okay, can I invite everyone to switch on
Yeah,
the video?
yeah, sure. Definitely.
Okay, sekejap ni Farah, Fatila.
Yeah.
Okay. Wen J is here already. Yeah. Haris. And Noliana, are you there? Hello. Zalil, are you there? Can we have a group photo? Right. Farah. Halo Farah. Ini semua maybe tak ada makeup kot. Dia.
You guys can dengar?
Dengar. Sekejap
They can hear. Okay.
Yeah, one. Wait No, Liana, are you there? Farah, Fatihah. Ini nama apa? Nivel Jayat. Are you here, Nivel Jayat? Nivel, are you a Malaysian? Nivel, hello. Is everyone Malaysian here? Nivel, are you a Malaysian? Hi. Wah, nampak sofa ni. Takut ni nampak sofa. Nivel, hi Nivel. Because sometimes my show.
Hi James, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm living in Glasgow, UK.
See, I have one because time to time I am very sensitive with these participants. Where they came from, because we try to tune in the languages for everyone can understand. So are you in UK now, or you are somewhere in Asia and you are from UK, or you are actually in UK now?
Basically I was from India. So now I've been living in Glasgow for almost 15-16 years now.
Okay. All right. So we have a different time zone. All right. Thank you very much. All right. And Farah, okay. Fatiha, can you switch on your video, please? You have a group photo, a quick one.
The only, James, sorry to bother. Only problem is I don't have my video connected with this one. So I only have to
see. I can see something moving on your screen. Is it a video showing on the sofa, a brown one?
It's because if I open it up, it'll come upside down. I have to switch off and switch on all over again.
All right, no problem.
I have a problem with my technical issue.
Okay, no problem. I hope you enjoyed the talk until this moment, because I also do not know when you came in, because initially the original amount of people was not like this, so the strength actually being increased throughout the talk. So Haslil, are you there, Haslil, before we have a group photo? Ini boss. Our main actor pula hilang. Boss, can you switch on your video, please, so we can take a photo, a quick one?
Hold on.
Okay. All right. So everyone ready?
Can you hear me?
Can. Wah, ni buka sampai 2. Boleh. Can.
Tak.
Asli, I think this one is he kan? Asli, yeah, it's he lah. Yeah, I think he's busy. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we take a group photo. Alright. So
Alright.
everyone, count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, check Wait sekejap. Alright. Cantik. Especially our speaker, our boss Syaril, smiling very good lah. Thank you very much. Okay, so everyone, you can remain on your video or you want to switch it off also can. So we continue our journey. Okay, where's Syaril? Ayo, hilang lagi. You still there, Tuan Syaril?
Can you hear me?
Boleh. Okay.
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 Syaril.
Yeah.
I have one question for you.
Q&A sudah start.
Yeah. Go ahead.
When you were diagnosed with this mild stroke, was it because of overwork or burnout? What was the
Okay.
actual reason?
I'm glad you said that. Okay. It's a mixture of things. But the worst part is I did not realize that I was unhealthy. Okay. It's a mixture of because of stress, because of I wasn't inside lah, internal kan, cholesterol and all that lah. So it's a mixture of things. And that's the risky part, is when you don't realize that your body, your emotion, your mental is actually under stress and you tak sedar. You're not aware, and most of the time things like that, not aware. It's so-called a silent killer lah kan. But it's even worse that you actually know that you are stressed and you are unhealthy, but you don't do anything about it. So that's the second part. But for me, it was a mixture lah between stress. In fact, at that time, I was traveling a lot also. Traveling can be a source of stress as well. So masa tu memang I do a lot of traveling.
So that you were working for Slumberjay, is it?
Yeah. At that time I was Slumberjay. But as I said, I didn't feel that I was stressed. or maybe I always tell myself I can handle.
Okay.
Right? And on the physical part, on the physical part, a lot of people also equate sweating as exercise, and that's what I thought. I was working offshore a lot under the hot sun, carrying stuff, do a lot of hard labor, manual labor.
I can relate.
And I thought that was exercise. Padahal I was only sweating, To be frank, you tutup aircon, stay in a room for 2 hours, you also can sweat, but that's not exercise. So that's the mixture lah. So memang I had high cholesterol, uric acid, blood pressure was high. But the point is I didn't realize that my body was not already capable to handle it, and tak sedar I was under stress. Okay. So that's what happened lah. And of course, it can hit at any age. And I relate just now lah, when I saw a lot of the students, 21, 22 though, was not fit, unhealthy. I tengok juga because I went there, I think 2 days, 1 day before the run, and lepak sikit lah dengan my interns kan. Pergi ikut diorang makan semua, tengok, oh my god. Quite an unhealthy choice of food. And once you start working, if you tak jaga, easily you can be swayed into a lifestyle that is tak healthy lah. Right? So as much as possible, that's my third reason why I'm on LinkedIn lah. My third message in LinkedIn is always that lah, health. And those are the 3 things I'm on LinkedIn lah.
So what is this your name, the prefix TS dot stand for maybe boleh terang sikit, macam kita ni orang kapal tak faham.
Alah, kecil je compare to CAPT. So TS is an accreditation by Malaysia Board of Technologies.
Mhm.
The prefix TS2 stands for Professional Technologies.
Oh.
So it's not specific to engineers or yalah, kalau engineers you have IR, CEng, chartered engineers and so on. So professional technologies is for people in various industries, including maritime, Cap,
Mhm.
who practices
Mhm.
and also so-called an endorser of implementation of technology.
Mhm.
So, and different industry, oil and gas, marine. In fact, to be frank, my interview was by a captain, marine captain.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, it was diverse lah. Apa ni? So it's awarded for people who in charge or oversee technology implementation lah in your respective industry. So there's oil and gas, there's agriculture, macam lah, manufacturing and all that.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's what TS stands for lah.
Mhm.
They have the criteria. You have to go for interview. You have to submit stuff and so on. Blah blah blah. They continuous learning also CPD. You have to continue to maintain. I'm on my second year already when I just renewed. So there's a few credit hours lah. You have to show that you have continuously learning, continuously teaching, and so on. Okay, so that's what TS stands for lah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
All right. Mhm.
Okay.
Something interesting. And ada lagi you did mention that you've been survived 1 year work from home. So maybe anything you can emphasize that. Of course after this can talk a little bit drumming sebab ni, kalau tak ni Sam tak puas hati lagi. Tak tunggu
Boleh,
lama
boleh.
ni.
Okay, yeah. Come this March, relatively 1 year work from home lah. I did manage to go in office sometime in July for 1 week.
Virtual
something.
morning meeting.
Memang
Virtual
yelah.
morning meeting.
You know, memang apa ni hitting 1 year already. In fact, my posting last week, I think, after I've done my monthly half marathon, solo marathon, was the question on even what if even after 1 year people still cannot adapt to work from home, kan? What advice would you give? Kalau lepas tahun pun you still cannot adapt. And to be frank, I personally feel that if one cannot adapt, there's nothing wrong with that as well. You know, you tak boleh nak cakap, takkan after 1 year pun you tak boleh adapt. You know, not everyone in the same boat. You know, kalau tak boleh, tak boleh. You cannot blame one. But what advice would you give, especially if it's work related? So at least I share how my experience lah for the first for this 1 year. It depends. I depended a lot on a balance, what I call the prefix PEMS, PEMS, a balance between physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual balance lah. Okay. That it's not all the time balance, all these 4 elements lah. Okay. But every day I work towards that lah, to have that balance. So starting from March last year, I work on that. Okay. And as much as possible, of course lah, you're married with wife and children, you try to emphasize that as well. Not literally, but the environment that you create. Okay. And to be frank, in the first few months, we allow everyone to throw tantrums. For the kids, they want to cry, they don't want to go to class, online class, let it be. You know, you see a lot online, people, adults are struggling. Takkan you nak expect children to, do the same. Kalau adults pun cannot cope, we expect the children. So the first few months is about letting go. You want to cry, you want to ponteng class, you ponteng. If I at one stage too, memang even if I cannot attend the meeting, I will say I cannot attend the meeting. Sorry, I'm not in the mood. Same goes with spouse as well. everybody start change kan. There's no such, and there's no time limit lah. You cannot say, okay, 1 month, after 1 month you have to be like this. No, cannot. We let it go. Everybody needs to adapt in their own way. Let it be. One. Second, what we did was, to be frank lah, daily routine, minimize the change. I minimize the change. So I was before the apa ni lockdown in March. My daily routine. Okay, first I talk about daily routine. I wake up about 5:30 in the morning every day. Do my prayers with the children masa diorang pergi sekolah. So before I go to work, so I will do prayers with family. I go for my run. So when masa pergi office, I go office first by 7:15. I go for my run first for half an hour or 1 hour or whatever. Then start working. And so on lah, come back and so on. So I minimize the change actually. I still did the same thing. Yalah, limited lah. To be frank, masa total lockdown, the first one tu, I ran inside lah. Okay lah, luckily I had an old treadmill. So I started running in there. Once they start to allow around your house compound, I started running around my house compound. Kecil je. To do a 5 kilometer run, I did 80 loops dekat my small lawn. Pusing 80 kali untuk dapat 5 kilometer. But the point is minimize the daily routine change. Tak tukar sangat lah. We didn't change. It's just the venue change lah. I cannot run outside so far, cannot lah. So the same thing. So same goes with my wife, same goes with the kids and so on. Minimize the change. Cuma venue je change. And got into the routine of morning meetings, virtual and so on lah. And that helped actually minimize the change. People always say you need to change. No, you need to adapt. Yes, but not necessarily I need to change. And my daily routine keeps the same until today. Memang every day, almost every day lah, I will go for my run. And now my wife also start to join me and so on. So that's the second thing that we did. First, we allow tantrums. To be frank, I had a meltdown as well, in my own way. Okay, stress is real. Don't deny it. Jangan kata, look at somebody, takkan ini pun you tak boleh handle. No. The stress is real. Okay. From not having a proper chair to sit during laptop buat kerja pun, that can be a stress as well. Okay. So let go. You feel stressed. I tell my staff also, just say the word, I cannot handle the meeting today. I have to do it. Same here, because I do the same. At the same time, so let it go. Then second, minimize the change, the routine and so on. Okay. Once that handled, then only you talk about apa orang panggil ni, stress on virtual meetings, how to manage that and so on. All right. Third, okay. I noticed also lah, when the first lockdown started, the first few months kan, wah, macam-macam tips lah keluar dekat online ni. Internal company, external online, ding dong. To be frank, it's very individual based lah. You only you can find on how you actually want to manage your situation. Okay, one of it is drumming lah. Memang and I tak ada fixed time. Sometimes at 3 o'clock I feel like okay lah, that's it. I need to get on my drums. I get on my drums.
3 o'clock morning
Silent drum headphone digital.
Oh, like that Okay.
I need. There's no need lah. No, tapi not 3 in the morning lah. But what I'm saying is during work hours. Kalau memang I need to be on my drums at 3 or 12 o'clock or during lunch, I will go on my drums first. Okay. But you need to be honest with yourself lah. You need to be professional. You need to do 8 hours of work. You do the 8 hours of work. But if you need that half an hour to do your things, you do. That's what I do. I tell the same to my staff as well. Okay, if they need to attend to something, you need to de-stress. So be it, Okay, and that's itu je. Sorry. Ada the fourth thing.
Yep.
Act weird. do weird stuff, do funny stuff, do funny stuff with your kids, do funny stuff with your spouse, joke around, you know, do pranks. I do a lot of pranks on my kids, man.
Wow, okay, this one another prank master,
I
okay.
do a lot of prank with my kids, and I dance.
Wah, ini
Uh,
kena bapak macam ni, penat juga ni.
ya, main kacau budak-budak apa ni. And okay, a lot of people might be surprised, but my wife and I, kita orang we don't have helper. Kita orang tak ada maid. Since day one of marriage, we are on our 14th year, dan memang kita orang tak ada maid. So masa lockdown itu hari, because now I'm at home in the day, I do chores as well lah. So mopping the floor, apa benda semua tu, tapi make it fun lah. Kids pun we make it fun lah. Dancing lah masa mopping. So that's the fourth thing lah. We act silly. We do silly stuff. We prank each other, you know. Memang. And
Kena ni yang besar ni.
oh memang. And apa ni, it help. But again, go back to my masa mula-mula start talk tadi. That's what I did, and it worked for me. It doesn't mean it can work for everybody else lah. Some people tak suka joke around kan, you know lah. Some kena father yang strict ke, duduk joke around, but it worked for me. But my point is, everyone needs to find their own way. Kena find their own way to make you have that balance, that balance. Physical yang paling senang. People know. Korang tak exercise, makan lebih, you know, tak pantang apa-apa benda semua tu, never exercise, physical memang out. Okay, emotion depends lah. Kalau you dah kahwin ke, single ke, and so on. If single, you still have your parents. That should be your source of emotional strength. Okay, and if you feel sad, please be sad. If you feel unhappy, please be unhappy. Jangan, you know, I don't keep it. Some people always see me as a strong character. Okay, but I do cry. When I'm sad, I cry. And it's not a sense of weakness. God create human with all these beautiful capabilities to be sad, to feel sad. Don't deny that. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, I had my sad moments. I will cry. Okay, sometimes a simple love story also it can touch me. Okay, I can cry, and there's nothing wrong with that. Tak ada benda. There's nothing wrong. The day you want to feel sad, you feel sad lah. Tak ada masalah. Okay, and that's the emotional balance. If I suppress that at one stage of my life, yes, I wanted to be this macho guy. Cannot. Must be strong all the time. It's a burden on myself, you know. So emotion, you know, let it be. Whatever feelings you have, man. Mental is about positivity. Okay, this is where I go back just now. I kata tadi, you cannot control people. You cannot expect people to change, but you can control how you see things. Perspective, you know, perspective. There's always A and B. A lot of stuff going on in Malaysia, right? Unstable politics here and there, ding dong, that party, a lot of stuff. Even vaccine also can become an issue.
Yeah,
But you cannot control that person A who wants to say something about the vaccine, or person B. All you can control is how you think about the vaccine on any matter. It's how you think. You cannot expect, hey, you have to agree lah. You cannot say like that. Cannot. So that's where your mental, you know, you look at, you decide how you want to see things. It might be funny. Actually, I don't know whether this is a true statement by Keanu Reeves or not, but I subscribe to that. The story about I'm at the stage where if people say 1 + 1 = 3, I would say I believe you. Enjoy your life. I subscribe to that. You know, because why I want to pening kepala to correct people? Of course lah. I mean, if you're in an operation, if somebody doing wrong, and kapal mau meletup ke, of course you have to say something
Yes.
lah, right?
Correct.
But
Correct.
in general, in
Mm.
general,
Mm.
if you want to believe like that, it's up to you.
Mm.
So that's the only thing you can control. How you see things, how you react on things. You cannot control other people. So that's the mental positivity lah that I subscribe to. Spiritual, of course, that one very personal lah. Everybody have their own belief. I practice that lah. To be frank, my daily routine or weekly lah. Monday and Thursdays, I do my fasting. So I do fast on Monday and Thursdays. I don't run. I walk with my wife lah on fasting days. So that's the spiritual part of me lah. But like in here I said lah, but I don't really share it lah. Spiritual between you and God. Whatever you want to do lah. Okay.
Yes.
And sometimes you start talking, nanti orang kata, want to show off lah. Lah. Okay. So, but spiritual, I leave it that lah.
Correct.
Everybody ada belief sendiri. You do whatever you need. You need to talk to God. You talk to God. Okay. And that's what I do lah. So that's the balance that I practice lah. It's not easy. It's not easy to, most of the time it's not balance. I cannot get lah. All four all the time. 3 maybe, 1 out. It's always like that. Yeah. Yes, but don't be hard on yourself lah. It's a different situation nowadays. Something failed. This is what I told my staff as well for last year's performance. If you don't reach the target KPI, so be it. So be it. Don't take it hard on yourself. You didn't achieve this, you didn't achieve that. This is different circumstances. So be it. That's always, this year. If this year also cannot meet, doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world lah. Okay, so that's how I actually survive lah. The whole year. No, nothing special, but just be yourself. Just be yourself and take care of your family. This is another thing wanted to add lah. On LinkedIn also, this is my personal experience lah. A lot of people actually private message each other asking for help. Okay, a lot. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad if you cannot help. Don't feel bad. Okay. Similar to me as well. There are times I would help strangers friends and family. Tu saya cakap lah, tolonglah kan as much as possible. But strangers, there are days that I cannot help. I just cannot help. That's it. Dulu I always feel bad lah. I cannot help, but I don't think God will punish you lah if you cannot help everybody. I do believe that lah. As much if you can help, you help. If you cannot, don't apa begini. Don't feel bad about it lah. Just do your part, stay safe, and yeah lah. That's how I went through for 1 year lah. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Boss Sharil. So last one, always I will ask the guest speaker, which is, if you have one superpower, what would that be and why?
One superpower and why?
Yeah. If you have one and why? What will you do with that and why?
Okay. Let me think.
Only one. Only one.
Only one.
Only one. Must tell
Yeah,
first.
one.
No, later list a lot of lists. Just one only lah. Yeah.
Okay lah. If I have one superpower, it's actually okay. Okay, it's actually to take away people's pain lah.
Okay. Right.
If I had the healing power, in other words.
All right.
Why? Mainly because I think a lot of people act or think negatively because they are in pain inside.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah, I have never seen anybody act cruel just for the fun of it. It's usually because there's an anger inside, depression inside, that they have to be mean to other people.
Mhm.
So if I had a superpower, I would have that lah, the healing power to take away people's pain.
Okay. Thank you very
That
much.
that would be me lah.
This is a very compassion power among many of the power. So it's almost coming to the time now, 9:30. I will open a breakout room, okay? Two people in one room randomly, of course lah. Our boss will be with me, and the rest will be go to the room, have some interaction. Then we have 10 minutes time. Then come back again for a very strong Q&A before we close this show. All right? I'm opening now.
Okay.
So all you have to do, just click the button and you will fly direct to the room. All right? So are you guys going in now? Okay, nampak ada orang masuk, sudah start masuk dalam. Okay. Hi Julia, you can click the button, Julia. No, Liana. Hello. Are you there? Okay, sudah pergi. Fatihah. Fatihah. You no Liana belum pergi. No Liana boleh dengar no Liana? Hello. Okay, tak pergi lagi. Fatihah, Fatihah. Okay, tak apa. I put in. Okay. So, sekejap ada orang pergi room 1. Right. Okay, sekejap saya tengok.
Dua orang lagi tak pergi.
Dua orang tak pergi. I think they are not here yet. Okay, tak apa. Sekejap tengok dulu No Liana, are you there? No Liana. Tak ada. No respond. Maybe dah dah pergi.
Dah pergi dah.
Sekejap dia kalau dah pergi, dia dah seorang. Tak apa, I letak dia room 6. So Fatihah, Fatihah, are you there? Fatihah. Okay, tak apa. Fatihah, I think she's nanti kalau dia respond, dia akan pergilah room 1 with Awi and Farah. Alright. So yeah, Boss Syarif, thank you very much, your sharing I really suka lah. You ni memang tak ada skrip langsung, you tahu ada orang dia ada skrip dengan ni kertas semua kan. So you really be yourself lah. This is what I like lah. I mean this is very very authentic sharing. I mean the purpose of Jam Talk kan. We just sharing lah, tak adalah official sangat. So and I very appreciate your time kan. I mean like for me personally experience ramai orang dia tak ignore saya. I mean ghosted lah, been hantu, kena hantu lah. I mean on LinkedIn I ask lah, I mean can you invite them to keep on my talk, sebab for my talk ni I select orang tau. I tak macam siapa pun masuk for talking lah, sebab control the quality kan. So I did approach a few people, dia tak respond me or even say okay but delay like this. But other people dia nak tapi I tak ada masa. So this is the thing lah. But I mean I very happy you are one of the few one, and I think you are the first lucky speaker. So the previous 3 semua perempuan, orang pun tanya ini Jam Talk ni jam perempuan je ke apa ke? Perempuan talk show kan. So very happy lah. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome, most welcome. As I said, I mean, I'm not an expert in along this line lah. That's why all I
surprise because you are not expert, that's why orang nak dengar. Ni expert banyak sangat tau. Dia dah muak tau. Ya, ini certified apa. But people like you say, apa pun tak ada. Nak dengar, tak nak dengar, okay tak apa. Inilah orang nak dengar.
And apa ni, to be frank kan, another thing that I really phoning in lah kan. Yes, I do have 56,000 followers, tapi yalah, you know lah, this to me that's just a number. And I'm not out there to change the world. I always believe lah kan, if I want to influence people towards something good, if I cannot influence 1,000 people, I will influence 100. If I cannot 100, I will influence 10. If I cannot influence 10, I will influence 1. If I cannot influence people to be better, then I myself just have to work on being better. That's it.
Yes.
You
Oh,
know, I cannot, as I said, you cannot control people.
This is actually remind me of a story ya. You ada pernah dengar yang story budak dengan orang tua. Dia pick up starfish kan kat beach ah. So he throw the starfish because the starfish kan dia kat pantai. So the budak tanya itu orang tua, dia say, why you put help, I mean rescue this starfish. But there are many starfish out there. So you cannot help. But the orang tua cakap, I cannot help many people, but I cannot help many starfish, but this one starfish on my hand I can help. So dia buang lah balik kat dia punya laut. So this is very best example like you lah. You cannot help a lot the world, but even one person, macam sekarang ada, I mean except 12 orang kan. So just one person kena touch by your message, itu dah cukup lah.
Itu dah cukup dah. No, that's very true lah. And this is what I myself panggil apa tahu tak? Being human. Not human being. All of us, I mean, but not everyone can be human. So this is what being human is lah. Tak ada beza pun you, me, tak ada. Kita citizen of the world.
Yes, correct. At the end of the day, you know, when we lie on the ini apa hospital bed with this ICU pumping, I can tell you memang dah tak ada lah apa you kaum lah apa, you know, all these things. That is why I mean obviously politician is like that lah, you know. But politician I also cannot blame, you know why? Because inilah dia cari makan kan, dia kena buat lah satu isu, so dia ada orang lah tengok berita semua kan, so sometimes I take it as entertainment lah, don't put it too hard kan. So so that's the thing lah. Ada orang dia terlalu emosi, wah why our kerajaan macam tu. You tak buat benda, kerajaan pun nanti pun tak ada benda nak cakap kan. So kadang-kadang adalah isu ni, but it's okay, this part of life kan.
That's true, saya kata. Even kita dah bubuh undi for few years ago pun, lepas tu tak ada kontrol lah. Orang lain ganti.
Yes.
So saya kata you actually tak ada control on anything except what you can do. That's it.
Correct.
Even results you are not under. You tak ada control result. But yalah, no. That's true lah. And apa ni macam saya kata kan, I'm actually just one type of person. In the office, at home, semua macam ni lah. This is me. I don't. People would see on my LinkedIn profile macam alamak dia ni seriusnya. Tapi kalau you tanya my staff dekat office, time serius ni lah. My serious side. And work is work.
Yes.
Personality, I'm the same person. Inilah Syaril.
That's the purpose I buat Jam Talk, for ice breaking. So orang tahu, oh this is Syaril on LinkedIn. Inilah I pernah dengar dia cakap, dia memang orang friendly, approachable. If not, kita kadang-kadang ramai sangat kat LinkedIn lah, you tak tahu tau orang ni, ini orang macam serius ke, muka pun tak senyum. I mean obviously ada orang dia profile tak senyum kan. So dia kalau tak buat talk macam ni, dia memang orang tak kenal kan. So it's good lah. I mean people after this they have a impression, oh ini orang mesti follow lah. Dia tak like I punya benda pun tak apa, I kena pergi tengok apa dia tulis kan.
Betul. And apa ni? But what I really like what you've done here is you are extending the virtual life of LinkedIn into an interactive thing lah. As we say lah, we have to be careful at the end of the day. All these are virtual. Apa nak panggil? Is it real or not? You know, people on LinkedIn ni. Is it just another platform of Facebook, you know, or platform of Instagram kan? And by you doing this, this is one step above that lah. Even better kalau boleh pergi physically jumpa kan, get a gathering and so on. But this is
why I mean I ada kadang-kadang, I mean before I do this Jam Talk, I ask myself, what if one day LinkedIn tak ada? LinkedIn shutdown
Yeah.
I asked myself, I am nobody. Even dulu I memang lah jerit I ada 14,000 follower, but I come to one point I tanya, ini follower one day LinkedIn shutdown, I am nobody. I'm nobody. Only my wife, my family with me saja. I mean, at the end of the day. So from there I start, okay, why not I make a talk? So adalah interaction. So even one day LinkedIn tak ada pun, we still have a memory. Like for you, you share something that I know, oh inilah orang debt free before 40. I know this guy, you know how to look for this guy. Even after LinkedIn collapse kan, because we wouldn't know. Maybe kadang-kadang dia memang macam tu, dia memang company okay, nanti tiba-tiba hilang lah. Esok hilang, follower zero again.
Correct. Yes. No. That is true lah. And yalah, you never know kan. Macam even the everything else in this world lah. Even the the strongest economy kena hit by this thing called COVID. Poof. Gone.
Betul.
Oil and gas industry collapse like hell, man. I would, at one time kan oil price went negative. I can even understand. Boleh oil price jadi negative. And so on. And just because of this virus that you can even see.
So sometimes you know when we are on the ship I mean last year when the pandemic hit it's very sad, bila kita nampak banyak kapal itu what is the kapal name again some oil tanker company lah, dia dekat Singapore Strait kan, because no discharge, no loading of the oil tanker, so banyak berlambat semua, at the loud there, very very sad lah. You this
true.
like aeroplane, you tengok aeroplane, if airport banyak kapal terbang, this is problem, dia tak ada flow. So same with ship lah, dia tak ada flow. Wah, you as a logistic macam kita ni tengok sad lah.
Sad. No, that's true. Same with us lah. One time tu in Labuan and Kemaman, all the drilling rigs stacked at ports. You said that one a gloomy sight lah. A gloomy sight.
Okay, so any welcome back everybody. I hope everyone already come back. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for attending. Okay, ada apa lagi soalan? Any more question? Tengok orang masalah itu ada lagi. Okay, so any more question you have for our speaker today, Sharil? Any question before we end this one? Avin, you have question, Avin? Avin very quiet lah. Can you maybe?
Yeah, maybe I just have one question for Sharil, right? Just curious. How do you really get until 50,000? I hardly hit 1,000 followers.
Okay lah. I mean, I did mention just now, I only realized there was this follower feature on LinkedIn when somebody actually pointed it out lah. I wasn't targeting for it. There are certain things that I did throughout the past 4 or 5 years lah. The very basic one actually, this is okay lah. This is actually, it's not a secret. It's just that people don't talk about it too much. That you go into settings. I can't really recall which one where lah. But look at the thing. There's this thing called, you have to enable it where whenever people check out your profile, they automatically become follower.
Yeah, I know this one.
Oh, really?
Mr. Gui, later I can show it to you.
Later. I also don't know. I didn't play around.
Feature that a lot of people don't want to share lah.
Can I share with you? No problem, Mr. Gui.
But I've seen also people who enable that but still low followers lah. So that I mean, not necessarily that's the only thing lah. What I did, one thing I didn't share just now is how I actually sustain lah my visibility after 5 years kan. I don't have many messages. It's just the consistency of the same message over and over again. Of course, it's a little bit twist and new contents, but it's the same message. That three lah I mentioned just now. One is what work related, which very project based. So actually my project, 2 projects ni finish lah. But during that project time, there's 2 hashtag. One, my first project was IIWR. That hashtag, if you cari lah, hashtag IIWR, a lot of people, you will see a lot of people using that tag because it's a big project. They want to be related, they want to be connected to that term IIWR for their own personal career progression. Because in my industry, in the industry for the past 4 or 5 years, that term IIWR, wow, who is connected to this kind of projects, memang big name lah. Not only for domestic, that term sampai overseas. If you look at in the oil and gas industry, Gulf of Mexico, North Sea, that one, which I'm quite proud of it because Global took Malaysia as a reference for that particular domain lah. They even took the UK oil and gas industry took our model, Malaysian model ni, we created this model and applied it there, and also Gulf of Mexico. So one is work, second is the for the graduates lah, CV CV writing and so on. Before that, sorry, work. The second project was Comstack, also the hashtag Comstack. So consistent for the 4 or 5 years. Itu saja for work.
So how hashtag sudah mati ke macam mana? Dia hidup balik ke memang dah quiet?
Quiet lah. I mean, that one work related. So very project based. Project pun habis, I pun no need already. Okay. Second is the graduate. So the graduate is, as I mentioned just now, CV writing and all that. At one stage under Top Voices Malaysia, we use hashtag TVM. So we help out graduates on CV writing, interview tips and so on. But itu sajalah TVM. Still ongoing, but we don't need that TVM hashtag anymore lah. We just help whoever one comes to us. Third is health. So my hashtag is H in HSC. So consistent, every time I post is that thing lah. And that help followers to come in lah, to start following me and so on. Finance, even though I share it here, my practice and so on, that one I don't really talk in public lah, because I also don't want to kacau financial gurus and financial management people lah.
Backfire pula kan.
Don't want lah that one. So yeah lah. So 2 things lah. Okay, one thing is you enable that features on LinkedIn. Secondly, as I said, I'm not teaching. My sharing is consistency in 1 or 2 or 3 messages lah. That's it.
Okay.
I don't have nothing else to talk about. So those are the 3 things lah. And
So
that's how I maintain the 5 years relevance in LinkedIn lah.
So you
Thanks,
said
thanks.
so you said the Top Voices Malaysia tu yang MIA 100 for most inspiration.
MIA, one of
different.
them. No. Okay. So MIA is good in the sense that they will spot top LinkedIn local Malaysian profiles lah. And yes, I'm in that list for 2 years already. They approached me and I said, yeah, okay. I mean, if you feel that I can give more, fine. I guess that helped as well lah, being there. Tapi to be on that list initially, to be frank lah, when I look back on my profile, my numbers of followers and all that was already big even before MIA. MIA even further helped, but those 2 things I mentioned lah, enable that feature and also consistency in your message. It's not easy. I've seen even on health, I've seen a lot of people try paling kuat 1 year then die off. I don't know where also.
Okay.
But consistency, that's all. That's what I did lah for the past 4 or 5 years to be relevant on LinkedIn.
And Boss Shahril, just when you talk about the consistency, how consistent is consistent? I mean, is it every day, one post or?
got lah. I mana ada post every day. No time also to post every day. Maybe if you notice lah, this session, whatever you saw or whatever you heard on this session, that's me lah. So I only write when something comes in my mind lah. Work the work portion different lah. That one project based, I have lah timeline. I know where to hit. To attract, to get that attraction from the industry. I know lah. I have to be quite consistent lah. At that time was, I think about weekly lah. Weekly I write about on work. But others on graduate, on generic stuff, health and so on, only when something comes in my mind. But that hashtag is powerful lah. And people can follow hashtags on LinkedIn. You can actually choose hashtag which one you want to follow, and you will, every time that hashtag comes up, you actually will get in your feed, something on IWR, something on HSC and so on lah. So I don't rely on frequency. Some people, yes, because you guys might know lah, this LinkedIn, Facebook, all this, they have an algorithm behind it. Okay, algorithm behind it that I think within the first hour, if you don't hit a certain threshold, that's it lah, your posting die already.
Correct.
So you need to hit, and that's why engagement is important lah. If somebody like or put or comment, you need to reply to keep on that until you hit that threshold. Then that posting will continue. So to answer your question, do I have a fixed frequency to post? No, I only post when I have something to say lah. If I don't have something to say, I won't post anything lah. That's the one. And then if people who are follows me lah, I don't reuse people's quote. I very seldom lah, unless something that really hit me. Maybe I will use lah. Like that Keanu Reeves story lah. I also don't know whether Keanu Reeves actually said that or not lah. But it makes sense to me. I subscribe to that. And it's just quotes from myself lah. I don't really use other people's quotes. Sounds, some people say sounds arrogant lah, but I don't. Somehow famous quotes from prominent figures, sometimes it does hit me personally. It makes sense, but to me that's his life story lah. That's his experience. If I don't experience it, how can I actually relate to that?
Correct.
And most of the time, my quotes are for myself lah. Experience. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks, Boss Ariel. Yeah, I just one curious. MIA, what does it mean? Missing in action.
Okay, MIA is actually quite an established online digital marketing lah. It's called Marketing in Asia.
Luckily, the boss not here.
Huh?
Luckily, the MIA founder not here.
Yeah, it sounds like missing in action. Last time I like to watch movies.
Yeah. It's marketing in Asia. They have in Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore, I think Australia as well. They are silent view. They have scouts in LinkedIn lah to see who is active and so on. And now, in fact, this year, they actually open up for anyone who wants to contribute or write an article on their page. So you can actually go just there. I think you have to look on the website where you can just submit an article on any topic, actually, not necessarily, technical, digital, whatever, and so on. Health. Of course, they will filter through and discuss with you. But that's one thing I like about that lah. They've opened up that opportunity for anyone to go and write on their page. And usually about March every year lah, they will start contacting people where they have looked at for the past year and offer you lah to be on the LinkedIn 100 top profiles and so on. Okay. So that is you can check them out lah. Very nice bunch of people. If you do keep in touch around. I mean, until now, so I keep in touch with them. And of course, if you look at the list again lah, I'm not the typical profile that you will see on that list lah. I think
Okay,
I'm the
thanks
only
a lot.
yes guy lah.
Yeah, thank you for the sharing. Appreciate it.
All right.
I better pass it to Captain James. If not, then he say I will hijack his show.
No lah, no. I'm actually looking through also very busy. See what is this TVM, is this sudah mati ke dia aktif
Yeah,
lagi?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I see
No.
MIA banyak tau. MIA ada ini MIA siapa MIA. But
Yeah,
TVM jarang ah.
Yeah. No, because we once we reach to a certain level, it's actually big. We were featured in the newspaper by New Straits Times and so on. We had big gatherings over, I think 200-300 people in Hotel Istana. Our first gathering, but we've achieved what we wanted to do. Like, it was not a business venture or anything. It's just a group of professionals, different areas, trying to give back to society. So once it's there already, we've done it and so on. Okay lah, we dissolve. Then everyone continue with the same what do you call that
Intention.
principle and so on. But individual lah. After that, it was just to create the awareness on LinkedIn that we have a lot of local talents that can help in different areas lah. As I said just now lah, career, CV writing, interview tips, and so on.
All right.
Okay.
So any more questions from the floor? Arwin, come. Arwin, I'm waiting for you lah. Cannot escape one.
Okay, so this is not some into LinkedIn or whatnot. This is just a question, a general one from Petrolhead lah, basically, because I love cars. And then you are the person, El Jefe, from Petronas itself. So I think you might give some insights on my topic here. So what is happening currently in our petroleum industry? I mean locally lah, because as we see in another 2035, 2040, some of the countries are already exiting petrol cars and they and forcing people to buy electric cars. So what is the direction for Malaysia in this, let's say, another 15 to 20 years time? So do you have any insights on that?
Okay. Okay, ada. Memang mesti ada insight-nya. 21 tahun dalam oil and gas. Okay, put it this way lah. I mean, there's a lot of talk about sustainable energy and what's the future like in the petroleum industry. In fact, yesterday I also had another session on the relevancy of engineering discipline. Do we still need engineers or not in the future?
Oh.
So a similar question was raised lah on petroleum industry. Okay. EV, electrical vehicles, is a good thing. I also would love to see more cars. I think Netherlands by 2025, 100% will be on electrical vehicles, no more petrol. But the first commercial electrical vehicle came up in 1960s actually, and 60 years down the road, it's still struggling, right? Still struggling. So it will come one day, I'm sure, 100% electrical vehicle, but petroleum industry will still be there lah. Okay, even though if we get, let's say lah, in 5 years time, we have 100% electrical vehicle, the whole world, siapa who would dare to go on an electrical flight?
Arwin.
Willing to try to go on electrical aeroplane. One, captain also. You berani steer tanker on electrical?
Tak boleh.
But
Okay,
we
so
must use solar.
So in a nutshell, think along that line. That is only from the fuel part. How about your plastic stuff at home? Where do you think it comes from? Petroleum stuff lah. So will the industry still be there in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years? I personally would say still be there. Petroleum industry will still be there. What will change is how we drill, how we find oil, how we find gas. That will change. That is where the sustainable energy comes in. We want to run our operations greener. We are aware about how dire the environment is. It need to last for our next generation and so on. So in a nutshell, to answer whether the petroleum industry will still be there, it will. I don't know for how long, 100 years. What I can say also lah, today, 2021, for Malaysia, 2021, 30 years ago, there was the notion saying that oil will finish in Malaysia by 2015. Now year 2021, we still have oil. So it's the reason being, maybe in 1990, the technologies available at that time can only see up to 2015. They say that with today's technology in 1990, oil will finish in 2015. Then come 2000, another technology can say, oh, now oil can be up to 2040. Today, the technology say, oh, we can actually have oil till 2070. You know? So to answer you, the industry will still be here. Malaysia still banking on petroleum industry. Are we diversing? Yes, of course, we are diversing into environment, sustainable energy and all that lah. Okay. Don't also be surprised if one day Petronas will now be known as a different company. You know, in the likes of, I forgot one company. Is it Kodak? I think Kodak. From
Difan.
Is it company? Camera.
Difan. Correct.
Kodak kan? I think they are into cosmetic now lah.
Oh really? Oh, this one I don't know.
Something like that lah. I can't remember lah which one, but there was one. If I'm not mistaken, it's a camera company. They diverse their business into cosmetics.
Oh, okay.
So now they are known as that lah. Can't recall, but you know, I'm not surprised also. One day Petronas will be known as something else also. You know, maybe no longer petroleum, but the industry itself, it will be here lah. It will be long time lah. Reserve our oil, don't worry lah, banyak lah. You can still survive lah.
Good to hear. Because in the nearest time, if we will able to shift to EV also, it would be costly.
Yeah,
because it's not sustainable, and battery by physics itself will deteriorate by time.
Yes. So you know, you're right. You're right. But take note on, as I said just now, the way we work will change. This is where digitalization is important. Artificial intelligence is important. Machine learning is important. So one of the topics I discussed yesterday with the fresh graduate was that lah, equip themselves with beyond the typical engineering knowledge. I'm in fact is part of UTM's industry advisory board. I had a meeting with the university in December, giving feedback to revamp some of their petroleum engineering syllabus, where I stress that petroleum engineers, besides petroleum engineering, they need to know digitalization, they need to know a bit of machine learning, they need to know business acumens, they also need to know some other soft skills lah, because that's the future of engineering lah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, then.
So any more questions from the floor before we call it a day? Wait, ada chat just now. I'll leave now. Okay, Julia, thank you very much.
I have one, my old colleague here, Ramzi Kanati. Habibi, kaifa haluk?
Baru masuk.
Just wanted to say hi.
Hello.
Kaifa haluk?
Alhamdulillah. I just caught the LinkedIn post very late, so just wanted to join in, say Assalamu alaikum to you and everyone, and wishing everybody a happy new year, inshallah.
Okay. Ramzi was with me in Kemaman at one stage of my career. Ramzi?
That's right. Served on the same team and worked for the well construction business, so good times. Almost 18, 19 years ago.
Oh.
Good to hear you, Ramzi.
All right. I hope to catch you on the next session ahead of time.
Of course, Abdi. Take care.
Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. So, anyone else? Sam, ada soalan, Sam? Wenje? Wenje still there? No question? Nobody have any question? All right. So, yep, that's all about it. I'm going to stop the recording now. All right.